Well, here, I decided to title this video 1111 Manifesting Miracles from now on. So that's what we're doing, Shameless Squad. I know that I decided to talk a little bit about what's been going on with me. I'm just making sure I got everything on my end with the chat, and that the video is working. So if it's not, if it is, make sure you let me know in the chat below and where you are tuning in from or watching the live replay back, whatever. First off, prior to me getting into this, 1111 manifesting miracles from now on energy, I just want to say a couple things. Well, first off, like happy 1111 portal. You have the energies like 3 days before, 3 days after. I know we're in a lot of Jupiter retrograde starts today, Mercury retrograde starts today, so definitely check out the shorts because we have all 12 rising signs in my latest shorts for astrology with that. And I know we've had a lot of outer planet retrogrades this year, so the planets be planning. Overall. And so just be mindful if you're manifesting during this time. It might be something that you've done in the past or that you might go back to previously prior to this year or earlier too. So just take what resonates with you with that. We're always manifesting no matter what with the astrology and everything like that. But I just want to say, hi, new today, 10:30 in India. I love that. And hello, Barb, abundance for all. Absolutely love that. I just kind of want to talk a little bit about like some rituals that you can do for 1111, the portal, the energies. And then I'll just kind of share with all of you like where the hell I've been, what the F's been going on in 2025. I feel like I've given you snippets of my life in the YouTube updates and the vlogs. And it has been a hell of a ride and a hell of a year. And I feel like, all of you are like my family on YouTube. I feel like a lot of you tune in from around the world and you really support me with my content. And so I just want to be vulnerable, real, and honest about what's been going on this year too. And just to let you all know, if I say anything that triggers you, like please take care of yourself, please take care for your mental health, your wellness, breathe, self-soothe, like you're in charge of your emotions and feelings and everything like that. And when it comes to other things as well, I'm going to be talking about some pretty serious topics and experiences that I've had this year. So I'm just going to give that trigger warning at the beginning. So again, you do you at the end of the day, only take what resonates, and you'll just have to let me know if 2025 has also been one of the hardest years of your life, Shameless Squad, because it has been for me. But let's talk about the manifesting stuff first. Scorpio readings. Yeah, I don't have the energy for that right now, new today, and you'll learn why in this live here and where I've been and why I have not been able to give you all psychic messages and downloads as quickly or as fast or do these things. I've had a lot of things that personally have gone through and experienced this year that the reads would not be the same if I wasn't taking care of my energy, if I wasn't doing certain things to really help all of you in the collective. Like the reads would not have been right to do, and I would have been draining and drowning in the Queen of Cups energy. And trust me when I say like I want to give you all more reads, but I have been feeling like I'm the Queen of Cups in the reverse in the tarot card of 2025. So all of you have to let me know if 2025 has been a tough year or a rough year or whatever. Hi, Michael. Thank you for being here. And hi to everybody in the chat. So a couple things that you can do when it comes to manifesting miracles and new things from now on with this 1111 portal energy. Over the next 3 days, one activity that you can do is write up a wish list, right? Like things you want to call in, things that you want to wish differently upon yourself or others for the next year too. And that can look differently for everybody. You can also take that wish list and like close your eyes, really ground down your energy and really visualize it. And the more you become in attune and aligned to that energy, the more that abundance and that prosperity and those miracles are really going to flow to you easily and effortlessly. And, I know some people, when it comes to manifesting, we'll talk about you have to feel it. And I know other people are like, well, feelings are difficult for me. I don't necessarily feel it. you don't have to fully feel every little thing in order for manifestations to work for you. Okay. Sometimes they just do. And sometimes that's just where you get to claim it and use the law of assumption here as well and say, my manifestations are always working for me easily and effortlessly, right? You could also affirm that, declare it, and use the law of assumption with that as well too. Hello in the chat. Make sure you all like this video too, and please support me with the channel. It's completely free to you, and it pushes this video out to the algorithm more with people too, and this will help people who have been also maybe struggling this year and with all that's going on in the world and losing out. This might inspire them to take some action to help the collective or give back or, give graciously of what is mine as a part of my sorority's creed from undergrad. And that could be anything: time, money, resources, effort, energy as well. So whatever it could be. Thank you so much for subbing and liking. I appreciate you. So when it comes to manifesting miracles from now on, you say that, you declare it, you own the energy, and then you have to kind of see all these little miracles happen every single day. And when it comes to when you see 1111, a lot of times people will put their hand on their heart and say wish fulfillment. And I love that we have 11 in the chat here. Hi, everybody. And that's like you putting it out there and also sitting with that intention and saying, okay, it's already done, and believing it too. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for your support and being here. Hi. Now, some other things with 1111, for those of you that work with the archangels, this is Archangel Sandalphon. And some of you may or may not know how to work with that archangel specifically. But Archangel Sandalphon is 1111. So you can say, thank you, Archangel Sandalphon, for bringing my wishes come true. And that means when you see 1111, like no wish is too big or too small or anything like that. And he is the messenger of angels. So that is one where you can make an altar, you can make a wish jar, you can sit at 1111 with Archangel Sandalphon and really work with all this too. And so when we're using this 1111 energy, 11 is the number of instant manifestation because it is a mirror number. So in order to manifest what you want on the external, you have to work on the internal too, like your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and really taking that energetic, signature one step at a time. Thank you. It's Selena, Sweet Table. I appreciate you. Mwah. I appreciate all of you in the chat supporting me. So with this 1111 and looking for miracles every single day, the miracle could be, oh my gosh, I have, my car has been really shitty lately. And you know what? I drove to and from work today. And that was a miracle in itself, right? Or a miracle could have been like, wow, I've really been struggling with my ADHD and I haven't been showing up to work on time. And now, like I did 3 days in a row, like celebrate that. Like that's a miracle, right? A miracle could always be, money, winning the jackpot lottery or whatever. A miracle could be if you're your own business owner, having lots of sales or products or, different types of things, depending on if you're service-based, if you are product-based, if you're whatever. That could be something where you are like, wow, I actually got a sale on this and I'm so grateful for this miracle. So it's also like, even in the tough times like that we're in right now in 2025 with all these things, really being controlled, taken away, and, a difficult year for a lot of people collectively, it's also about trying to find that silver lining, hold space for yourself and others, not spiritually bypassing anything on a collective level, as well as like, what is this teaching me? How can I move forward? Maybe what's that teeny tiny little silver lining with this all? Hi, Richard. So thank you all. So now I just want to be vulnerable with you, Shameless Squad, and just share what I have experienced this year. If you're new to the channel, then you didn't see this. Like I posted, do you want me to do a shamelessly shedding read, or do you want me to give you like updates with what's been going on with me in the collective? And I think we had one more vote or two more maybe in regards of just updates. And honestly, I don't know if I was ready yet for the shamelessly shedding read because I'm still replenishing my energy. Barb says, I dropped my wallet yesterday. Luckily, I had my card in there and some sweet soul turned it into the building I was at. IDs, credit cards, cash. Yes, all intact. That's so beautiful. And that is such a beautiful miracle. Oh my gosh. My dad has done that where he's legit put his wallet on his minivan. I I just have to laugh because I'm like, this is so Carl, because he's so chatty, 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 like go, go, go. And he's driven off like at least 2 times. I remember my dad has done that growing up, and 2 times those people were earth angels, and they fucking found him and brought him his wallet back. So beautiful, Barb. I love that blessing. I love that miracle for you too. So yes, it's also about trying to spot the miracles even in the mundane moments, or even if in the tough moments in life here, okay? And so when it comes to this Shameless Squad too, like I want to make sure that, it's not something where in the tough times you diminish or minimize what you're going through. You have to feel it. You have to heal those energies in motion, and you have to release them. So I don't want you to spiritually bypass anything that's been tough. However, when you feel like you've moved through that energy, that's something where you can then potentially begin to start seeing the miracles. Now, an example might be, we've played the gratitude game in my partner's family, and it's 11:11, so let's put 11:11 in the chat. Hello, everyone. Thank you for saying hi. And like one year we played the gratitude game, and it was during COVID, and we were on a Zoom call with family members, and my partner thought he knew what I was going to say, what I was grateful for, and it was really tough for me because he was like, oh, I think she would just say this and that, and I started bawling because my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer then. She's had breast cancer since 2020, over 5 years now, and that was a point in time where I felt like I couldn't cry, couldn't be vulnerable. I felt like, no, that's not what I'm grateful for. And it was really hard to find gratitude, even in the tough moments. But I was really grateful for, we just call them brother-in-law, sister-in-law, because we aren't married or anything, my partner and I. And so I just call them that now. But I was really grateful because they were 2 people that really thought of me in those moments, but not so me, like my mom. And they sent her flowers and what she was going through. And so I want you to be mindful of what you are feeling internally will manifest externally. So if you're feeling burnt out, like you need to cry, like you need to slow down, like you need to heal, like you need to feel, like you need to take accountability or responsibility for your healing, know that that's very, very valuable, and you're valid, and you're probably a part of the collective that is trying to take care of themselves so then they can better take care of others during this time here. And then it's about manifesting when you're kind of clear and it's like, all right, spirit, universe, source, I got this. But also not rushing the process, okay? So Shameless Squad, I know I have been very inconsistent yet consistent on YouTube, and I'm just going to share everything that I have kind of gone through this year with you. I hope I don't cry because I don't have tissues around me, but if I do, I do. I'm not looking for sympathy with this. I'm not looking for anything with this, and I just say anybody that's tuning in and listening to this or watching the replay back again, please don't absorb what I'm feeling or what I've gone through. Please just observe it, and please just listen and just, know where I've been is what I just want to ask for. I'm not looking for any shameful advice. I don't need that. And yeah, so we'll just kind of get into it. So last year, I've told you all that I gave up, my number one stream of income of being a therapist. It was no longer right for me. And it's because energetically, I was very burnt out because I had lots of clients that were all very, very great. But the key themes that kept coming up was like people are never ready, or certain, stories that I'd been conditioned to believe as a therapist. And now I really take the stance of you're never ready, like F it and find out. And those are the types of clients that I really align to because I've been called the resource queen. I've been called the walking encyclopedia. I've been called like someone who's very wise beyond her years for her age and having a lot of resources and wisdom. And I want to be able to give that to those who give to me, who want to really do and be with their work here specifically. Hello, everybody in the chat. And so I, dissolved my old business model. I lost, my stream of income. I had coaching clients at the beginning of the year that were going to start with me, but then didn't. And I'm just kind of counting like on my hands for all the things that I've gone through. And so I don't chase people. I attract people. If you aren't a grown adult and you actually want to do this, then you have to sign the contract and paperwork. Otherwise, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to follow up with you. Like my energy is my currency. And that's important here, right? So that was going on. I took my therapist hat off, and somebody within the first week of the year, a very important person in my life, had tried to complete suicide twice this year. And it's something where it's like, okay, I am now having to put my therapist hat back on, not providing them therapy, but providing them resources, trying to teach them the mental health system here specifically overall. And so there was a lot where I was giving. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a Cancer sun. So that Queen of Cups energy is just slowly like going down, being depleted, being drained. When I know energetically, I'm meant for a different timeline. And I know a lot about energy and vibration and things of that sort. And I know that mental health and mental wellness was not the energy I was meant to be helping with anymore, specifically on a therapy one-to-one level. I would have been more burnt out and exhausted. So I'm trying to teach this person all of this. Brother-in-law had a heart attack. Slowly after that, I had really advocated to a couple different professional coaches I was working with where I did not get what I received, what I wanted, and what I paid for. And both of them said, well, because you did a majority of this course or these programs, we can't refund you. And I felt really frustrated, manipulated, and I was also gaslighted and lied to. And I was also outed by one of these coaches as a coaching client, which is something when you talk about confidentiality, you're not practicing what you're preaching here. And so that's something where that's frustrating. And I was trying to have civil conversations with them, try to get my money back, try to have them listen to my point of view. And that's the thing where I'm like, I'm invested in this and I feel like I needed to do all these programs to really learn whether or not these things actually worked for me in my business model and structure, which they didn't. I don't like sliding into people's DMs and putting my metaphorical dick in them to say, oh my God, buy this, buy that, da, 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 da. It's sleazy, it's grimy, it's gross to me. And that's not the way I want to coach. That's not the way I want to sell. I don't like it. So anyway, that's like 5 things at the beginning of the year. Didn't get any reimbursements, was gaslighted by people who were therapists turned coaches. So if that tells you anything, and if you've been watching my shorts lately, that's why I'm just like, I need to kind of free myself and free my stories with this and kind of warn some people about the therapist industry as well as the therapists about the shame in that community and everything. Because if y'all don't know anything about the therapy field, or if you do, it is so shaming. It is so abusive in so many different ways. And it is very disgusting. And I'm just like starting to speak out about it more here. So that's like 5 things going on, right? As a lot of you know, I am psychic. And this was maybe now spring here, end of May. Or no, March, I also had my car die, my old car die. So I had to get like a new car. So I sound like a sad country song at this point here, right? So I'm just like, oh my God, why? This is feeling like such a breakdown. And I know the silver lining is you have to break down to break through. Like, I get it, spirit, but damn. And that was in March during that time as well. So these 6 things were going on. Then move into a little bit later in the spring here. I'm going to like keep track for all of you. Oh, I had a dream about my partner, and we're not married, but today is actually our 8-year anniversary. I had a psychic hit, and I said, he came to me in a dream, and he said, oh, Booby, I don't know if I can continue to be with you. I need to trust my intuition. I need to follow what I need to do, all these different things. And so I kid you the F not, Shameless Squad, we had the most intensive next 3 evenings / day, because it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into the weekend, of like us talking to each other about this and like it's like our own therapy. We didn't seek therapy or counseling for this. It was us together moving and working through this and really processing and trusting. But oh my God, I was so exhausted. I was crying. And you know, I said it 2 days before he was going to work. And 2 days later, he was like, so that dream you had, we need to talk about this. So we were like, are we going to break up? Nobody did anything wrong. It was just this point of him trying to spiritually be in alignment, like with his higher self and his purpose and the collective energies. And he's an Aquarius sun. So if you know anything about astrology, like he's like, there's a lot happening here and I need to figure out how I want to show up in the world right now. Absolutely. And so we talked through those things. We're still together. Also that same weekend, we decided to give up the house that we are renting. So it's not blue in the background anymore. So the house that we were renting, it was just too much for us. We were like renters plus, we were doing everything. It just didn't feel like a good fit anymore. We wanted to downsize, but have more space and really utilize the square footage here. So we had decided to give that up. And this was going from like the end of May into June. First was that Sunday, that weekend. I'm sitting outside. I'm just crying because, all this shit had happened, right? And I am just processing this, right? When it came to that day, I had a phone call from my dad. And so the next things happen to me in threes. Maybe they do you. My mom fell out of her bed and she had to be taken to the emergency room and go to the hospital. And I was like, holy shit. So I like run upstairs from outside. I put on clothes. I'm going to do this because that's easier for my hands. I put on clothes. I'm like scrambling to get there. And my partner's like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was like, babe, like my mom, she fell. I don't know what happened. This is something specifically where I was like, I have no idea, but this is a medical emergency. We need to go. And she has breast cancer. It's not staged or anything like that, but this is something that was very scary here. And so I went to the house, like the EMTs were there, cops were there to make sure she could get to the hospital, get her out of the bed, transport her downstairs, right? And my dad was like, you don't need to be crying. It's okay. She wants to see you. I was like, no, like I want them to move her out and stuff. And he didn't know that all this stuff was going on, right? But I was just bawling my eyes out because like, I don't know, she's not in the best of health, Shameless Squad, like she is trying her best to work on things with her mindset and like things could be better, just like anybody out there too. Like I've told her, we've had many conversations about this as well. So she was actually rushed to the emergency room, just completely out of it. My dad's her caretaker, for those of you that don't know. So he's been doing this for 5 years. And I've tried to, go over and help and be with her, as well as just like have my coffee dates with her and just really like be around as much as I can too. And so that was like the first week of June into the next week of June. And I was really trying to just show up. And that was important for me to remember that like family is important and business comes second. And like I really have this flexibility. So I would rather be there for my mother, be there for my father, be there for my family than not show up specifically here overall. And so this is one of those things where I'm like, if I have this ability, I want to do that. I want to be there, right? Otherwise I might regret it. So after that, we had to get the apartment search hunt going and stuff. But during the time of my mom going to the hospital, I had to run home, look for her healthcare directive because the hospital doctor also said, like, do we resuscitate or not? And I was like, holy shit. I would say, like, not resuscitate, but then I was like, Dad, but Mom and I are pretty opposite. So I could also see somewhat opposite. I was like, I could also see her saying the other thing where she wants to be kept on, a ventilator or whatever. And so we got it all figured out, and it was just scary because I'm trying to make sure I find everything and get to the hospital back on time or send them that information of her healthcare directive, right? And so she was in the hospital, I think, for like 4 nights, 5 days. It was a really, really, really long time here. And this is something where after that, she gets back home and like she's transitioning and adjusting and really sleeping because she sleep in the hospital and they were poking and prodding her, right? All the things here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. And so this is, thanks Ashley for the flower, Jules. I appreciate you and I love you. So this is like the 9th thing, 6 months into the year, like 9 things. Okay. So that's a lot already when it comes to just in general, life cycle transitions, grief and loss, all these different things. And so throughout this whole time, I'm trying to still get my astrosex courses done, put everything up, launch it, promote it, and also like start it. And I'm like, I just cannot. And then this is where come June, July timeframe, well, we need to move, right? And even with that too, like if my partner wanted to break up with me, just backing up for a minute, like I had no idea where I could have gone. I could have been homeless, like truly, like because I'm a business owner, my income can go like this. And people don't get that and realize that like this is a professional service and services that I do. And so that's something that was also very freaking scary. We were in survival mode. So that's like 10 things right there. Then we found an apartment, which we love. It's great. All the things. I get to share it with, beautiful people amongst my community. And Ashley and her spouse actually got to help us move, which I was so grateful for. And it was a lot, just the four of us. And that was a lot going on. So we move. And then that week during the move, this person who had tried to complete suicide twice had tried to again that week. And I got a phone call from, their work. My partner and I went over to their house. We checked on them. We tried to figure out if we could get in. We couldn't. What was going on? What was happening? If everything was okay. We tried to go visit them at the hospital. And then by the time we got to the hospital, it was the wrong hospital. And then the hospital was closed. So we're like, oh my effing gosh, this is a shit show. And the visiting hours are only at night because they have so much group and treatment and stuff that they had to do during the day. And, it was a lot. And that happened during the week that we were fucking moving. And so again, another thing, right? And this is something where thank you for saying you had so much fun and all the all the stairs though. Yeah, Ashley, absolutely. And so that happened during like this week of moving while we're trying to move from the house into an apartment. But then also we gave ourselves like this 2-week overlap. Thank gosh, because we're going to the hospital, we're moving things from the house, we're dropping off donations at Goodwill, we're getting rid of stuff. We're trying our best to actually like move and get in here, right? And then like after that, like I had to advocate for this person because I was coordinating care with their team. And I had to advocate and truly tell like and talk to the social worker at this hospital of like this person's symptoms and severity is very, very, very high for suicidal ideation and depression and all these things. And this is something where there's a recommendation of this person doing like intensive day treatment yet still going home. I'm like, no, whereas like in-person, residential, everything like that. And because I had my therapy background, Shameless Squad, I knew what to ask. I knew what to say because otherwise that recommendation wouldn't have came. And that's one of the saddest things because that is their job. So I'm advocating for this person, right? That's like 14 we're up to, which I would do again in a heartbeat, or for anybody I love, I would do it again in a fucking heartbeat. Okay. So this is something where after all of that, I went and, again, Ashley was so lovely to help me drive this person out 5-6 hours to treatment, getting lost on the way, do all the things. But again, I couldn't move forward. I couldn't be as live on YouTube. I couldn't go forward with Astro Sex programs. I could see clients like for one-off services and stuff and do women's circles and stuff. But like in the midst of all this, we were still moving and moving in. And so that was a whole nother thing, driving this person out and then also picking them up back with my partner. So like, 16 huge, really big things here. And I have been this person where I also was put in the middle of these situations and triangulated, which is not healthy. So for those of you that don't know, triangulation is when someone pulls you into the middle of the stuff where it doesn't necessarily relate to you. And, it's basically a triangle. Like they try to pull you in to be the hero and they're the victim in the story and the other person is the villain. So when they pull the other person in, they look to you to be the hero to almost rescue or save them or secret keep. And that's exactly what was happening to me. And I had conversations with this person of like, I'm not secret keeping. I'm not doing this, anymore. And if I come to my limit and my boundary, that could happen here. And so it's been a lot of like personal growth. It's been a lot of therapy. And even while this person was away in resident, like I also witnessed a stabbing less than 3 feet away from me, Shameless Squad. I was out having coffee with my mentor. We were going to talk astrology, psychic stuff, whatever. And it literally happened to the person right behind me. And it was the day of the Annunciation churches or school shootings in Minneapolis and everything like that. And that was something that was just so terrifying, like, and seeing it and witnessing it, and it all happened so fast. So then we're talking to cops and all these things are happening, right? And all these things are going on because we want to get them that information. And it was really scary, really sad, and just terrifying. And so one of the things that people don't realize when you experience a very stressful or traumatic event where you are witnessing violence or seeing that being done to another person, that can turn into PTSD. It can turn into acute stress disorder where you experience those symptoms for 30 days. But if they reduce, then it's not really PTSD that it turns into overall, which thank goodness that was me, because I was dreaming of different crimes and different stabbings and different things. And it was scary and it sucked. But then slowly but surely, like, those dreams stopped and I really had to ground my energies, and I had to take care of myself because I was taking care of everyone else. I was taking care of people in my family. I was taking care of YouTube. I was taking care of my business. I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of my part. Like, I have been so tugged on this year that's why I have not been consistent on YouTube. And this is something where I'm being very vulnerable with sharing this with all of you and keeping things as confidential as I can as possible with these people. And this is something where I also deserve to take up space and share, like, my shameless truth and my experiences and my vulnerabilities. And then that's like, I don't know, like 16 plus major events like within 1 year. And then when I'm starting my women's circles and different things, like, there's been other women who I've invited and they've just like shamed me. Like, oh, I'm working during the day, or, oh, like, I can only do stuff in the evenings. And it's like, okay, well, you can just say that. And like, you don't have to say it with a tone, because I sense that and I see that in your voice, right? And like an eye roll or whatever. And it's one of those things when you're not your own business owner, like, you have no right to come off that way, because it's like, we're doing it 100% on our own. And I chose this and I know that. And I'm like, again, I'm not a victim to any of these circumstances or situations. Absolutely not. This is something where, though, I wish people gave more grace to business owners, because people just expect things at night. And when people like me are like, I don't do things at night, like, that is going to deplete my energy. And I'm already the Queen of Cups in the reverse energy. I have a post written up about that to share later. But it's one of those things that people don't almost give you that grace or that respect or prioritize you, even though bitches be working in corporate and they're like, I make my own schedules or I do whatever I want to. And you're like, okay, well, you just outed yourself and you lied. You lied. Not that you need to confront that person on it, right? But this is one of the lies that I choose to not believe anymore, or buy the biscuit of like, oh, I can't do that during the day. The right people will always come to you. The right people will always be with you during the day, and the right people will show up for you. Those liars don't need to be in your energy. And if those liars actually take a look at themselves and look in the mirror and be like, oof, that was a shitty thing, and I'm going to say I'm sorry to the other person, myself included, it's one of those things where that's on them at the end of the day, and that's not on you. And so until people realize that you are literally doing things on your own, like I have been this entire year, you don't know what a person is going through, and you don't know the story behind, like, the person. Don't judge a book by its cover here, Shameless Squad. And so the past couple months, like, things have finally slowed down here. And the silver lining in all of this is like, the fact that I am still here, and grounded and not giving up on myself, and not giving up on YouTube, and not giving up on my business, and not giving up on my life's purpose, and making sure that I'm taking care of myself energetically is a miracle. And these are the types of miracles that we can truly see. And sometimes you are this miracle in other people's lives, but you may not even realize how you truly have affected or influenced their energy. And so another way that you can really use this energy of today, this 1111 portal, and just even in the future, text people, tell them what you're grateful for from them, wish great blessings onto them, wish them abundance, wish them success, give to the people that give back to you energetically. And I feel like that's a huge thing. So throughout this whole breakdown, breakthrough 2025 energy with me, I've seen the little, earth angels that have come into my life, showed up for me, been present for me, listened to me, and also really still are supporting me. And even new people that I've connected with as well here. And it's been very beautiful. And so just know I don't take any of that for granted here whatsoever. And just know that I appreciate all of you and even the earth angels who've shown up for like my mom and my family, during this time. Like that is really, really huge here. And some things that, I've been talking to like my partner about. My parents are going to be selling, their home this next year, whatever. And so it's kind of the beginning of the end with grief and loss of different traditions and holidays and certain things, and things are just going to change here. And so I just want to say to anyone out there, from the spiritual world and the psychology world, like truly coming from these two backgrounds here, blending them together within my shameless self, like tomorrow is not guaranteed for anybody. So tell people you love them today, wish people well today, hold them, in healing light today for the people that, that are potentially hurting out there, and really like choose to give that good energy and choose to take care of your energy and cut cords or people off or release them who are no longer meant to be here for you anymore, Shameless Squad, because that is this year of the snake, to shed the things, the people, the communities you've outgrown, like the things that you don't want to do anymore, like just don't do them, right? And I know it's easier said than done. I know that it takes work, but I know the right people on my channel will understand that message of give it up, right? Like give up the things that truly aren't right for you anymore. And by starting this now, you're going to show up better in 2026 when the year looks different, numerologically, astrologically, all these different things. And you're going to be like closer into that alignment too. Hi, God, nonstop. Happy Veterans Day to you too. Thank you. Thank you. See, just even sending a blessing like that in a chat to somebody here as well. Shameless Squad. But that's why I have been uploading videos too versus going live, because my lives weren't really getting much views. My lives were very inconsistent. And I just felt like energetically I wasn't receiving. So I had to pull back from that specifically here overall. So when you're like, I hear you all telepathically, like I hear you, I feel you tugging on me sometimes, and know that like I'm trying my absolute best this year, and 12 tarot readings in 1 week is a lot, especially if they are like the 45-minute to over an hour reading long. I just don't feel like I've received enough. And so I felt like I'm not going to overdo those. And I feel like my energy has needed to replenish and rest and realign and restore here. And I just want to say like, that's okay. I don't fault myself for this. And I wouldn't expect other psychics out there on YouTube for everything that I've gone through this year, almost 20 huge events. And it's not even the end of the year yet, right? Like I wouldn't expect that from any of those readers. I wouldn't expect that from any content creator. And so I just want to say like any expectations that are put onto me, like I hear them, I feel them, and that doesn't make me want to do readings as much. It like drains my energy more. And that's not what I want to do. I do want to give you all the readings in the world. I do want to share all these things with you. I want to share myself with you. I want to show up vulnerably with you. I want to share my past experiences with you, like I have been on the shorts and talking about different things in the therapy realm and psychology and things to not believe from people who don't know what they're talking about in this world. And like, if I was able to give you all the readings in the world, just trust me, I would genuinely. You've seen them. There are over 1,000 videos on this channel with tons of different content. And this is something where, because my external reality with the 11 here was truly difficult to deal with, my internal, it would have reflected wrong. The reads wouldn't have been genuine. I probably would have been crabby. Probably would have gotten, sent some sassiness from me or feeling like short or whatever. So this is something where it's like, in order to receive, you also have to give when it comes to manifestations. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like, if you want to receive more readings, you have to give likes, you have to give comments, you have to, share the channel, you have to give to that creator. And a lot of people don't do that. And so I was seeing that with myself. And I was like, I need to take a break then, because this doesn't feel right for right now. And I know that if people actually truly do love me as a content creator and you enjoy my channel and everything, the right people will stick around and the wrong ones will leave if that's the only thing that you're here for. And I tell you all to stay shameless at the end of every single reading. And that is what this video is truly about here. And Kaz, I'll tell my partner today that you said that. It's our 8-year anniversary, so I'm sure he'll just love hearing that. I'm getting called a cutie and sexualized on YouTube because that happens, right? So this is what you would have gotten, Shameless Squad. Truly, you would have gotten shamelessly sassy, low tolerance, no bullshit, a lot of honesty from people. And it's like, one of those things where, some people may not be able to authentically receive that or handle that either here specifically. So I just want to know from all of you who are still in the chat, who've still been listening, who still have been present, like, how has your year been going? Have you been feeling these things? Are you like using this portal energy? Like, how are you all doing truly? Like, what are the miracles that you're wanting to manifest from now on? Because this is also about all of you. Like, I could have uploaded this video and you could have just listened to me talk and me just not share the space. But I'm just curious, like, from the chat, if anybody's like, this has been a great miracle. And I know Barb said something. But if others are still here and would like to share anything that has truly been a miracle or like a blessing in their life, let me know. And if not, then I can, cut this live short, because clearly girl's been talking for a while and she gets very red in the face, cheeky here. But I do want to show up for all of you and just know that, like, I'm not always like, oh, what's up, Shameless Squad? Like, you're not always going to get that Jackie with me. You're going to get like a real, raw, authentic, real ass bitch in a fake ass world, to quote Chris Sapphire here overall. If you know, we love the circle. And if you're watching the replay back, like, tell me what miracles you're trying to manifest and bring in, to this next year, because I'm always here to cheer you on. And that's something where, like, I read my comments, I read all of them, and I try to heart all of them as best I can. But this is something where sometimes when manifesting miracles, you don't even realize it, but you are the miracle in another person's life without even knowing it. Sometimes when you're manifesting a big miracle on 11/11 or this portal energy, like, this can be a time where you just completely shift here overall. Sometimes you manifest miracles by just showing up and saying, no, I don't do this anymore. I don't tolerate that anymore. I had somebody, a couple weeks ago, reach out to me and message me, and lovely person, great person. And they just kind of said, hey, Jackie, are you still doing, your one-on-one coaching services, whatever? And I said, no, if anybody wants to work with me in one-on-one, like a consultant package and a one-on-one coaching package, that's 5 figures. And I was just like, no bullshit, not tolerating less, not giving less than I deserve. I'm just going to be real. And, they had a very beautiful response. Like, okay, thank you so much, like, for the information. And some people would shame. Some people would look at a person and be like, wow, that's so greedy. Wow, that's so this. Wow, that's so that. When you don't know how they run their business, you don't know what they're charging. You don't know what people's finances are, what they look like. And this is one of those things where if you want that miracle and that blessing to come in, you also have to hold and set these boundaries within yourself here. Okay. So Shameless Squad, final call. Let me know what you're manifesting in the chat if you're here. If you're manifesting some sort of miracle, or if you have an abundant win to share. that let me know. Oh, I love this. Okay. Hi, Dixon. 123. I love that you have 123. Beautiful. I lost my home a few years back. I'm so sorry. Wound up living in a single wide trailer for 6 months with two strippers. Best 6 months of my life. God works in mysterious ways. I'm glad that that worked out for you. And yeah, God works in very mysterious ways. And these are the stories that are just always so beautiful. And, those blessings that you just love to hear from other people. And you're just kind of like, wow, I have no idea how this is going to happen, but this happened and this miracle happened. But very beautiful. Congratulations. I love that for you. And I love that that's something where you're like, yes, this worked. This worked. But yeah, like, let me know what miracles, or if you have questions for me in the chat at all, feel free to drop them in now. If there's any questions about 2025 or this year, things that I've shared about myself on this live. I know it was a lot of information. I know I was very vulnerable here too. If you haven't watched the whole replay back as well to get the tea. And if this is something where, you want to share anything, I invite you to do so in the chat. But if not, then I may just hop off and read your comments later. So yeah, just know that to the collective on this channel, thank you. Ooh, Ashley, what you got? Manifesting getting my house sold. Fuck yeah, it's going to happen. I got news from a friend that their friend wants to purchase something when their lease is up. Oh my God. Yeah, so we don't have to own anymore. I just don't want to rent. Congratulations, Ashley. It's going to happen for you. I know it is. Deep down inside, it's happening. Like, your girl sees shit. And I also want to give this house to someone who truly needs it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that, Ashley. I love it. And you'll find the right person, the right people. And, you have such beautiful energy that you really are very generous and giving. And I know that the right buyer is coming through for you. So, Barb says, thank you for sharing your truth. Barb, thank you for being here and supporting me. I love and I appreciate you. And I'm not period cramping, but I do have like my snake bite zits here overall. But I'm gonna be going to yoga with you later, Barb. So Barb is also a miracle in my life because she knows your girl does not do like late night stuff, goes to bed early, and is going to be going to her yoga class. Okay. Carla said, a home, my best friend, not be broke, to have my social security or SSI, my cat back, my kid, and the right people, neighborhood to live in and at, and just lay my sword down and rest now. Carla, that is absolutely beautiful what you said, and that you're putting it out there. And by you just sharing that and being vulnerable and speaking these things on this live, like, that's how you also receive. So I really love that. I think it's so beautiful that you said that. And it gives me like the Four of Swords vibe energy where you can just kind of be like, okay, I get to rest. I get to be at peace. I don't have to fight for all these things as much anymore. And I wish for you to have the most beautiful, abundant, blessed home, your cat back, your kid, just everything coming back to you and feeling like you can just be and not have to do and run the rat race of life or anything like that. Ashley or Barb says, yes, to all the yoga things. Barb, are you calling any big manifestations? And Carla, I'm glad I found this channel, Divine Timing. Oh, thank you, Carla. I love and appreciate you. Truly, truly, truly. Like, this is what I do, Shameless Squad. Like, people know, I'm not going to out them, but people who know, like, that have been to my events, be it past, fun networking ones, or be it my full moon circles, like, I am literally celebrating with all of you here specifically. So this is just one of those things. And Carla, did you just join the channel today? I guess I'm just curious. I'm just grateful for you that you are here and everything like that. I love it when all of you truly subscribe and are just present, and you show up for these lives, because I know my lives are kind of sporadic, and sometimes that's just how it is, and that's just what I have to give. But yeah, and when it comes to the Shamelessly Shedding read, I have an oracle deck that I created based off of the year of the snake this year, and it's for general messages, but I am going to do that for all 12 signs. I love that deck. I don't use it that much on this channel. And I'm like, why haven't I used this that much? Because it's the year of the snake, but it's also Scorpio season. And that's just a really good deck to use. And I'm going to try to do that this week and go live. Like, maybe tomorrow, but I do want to go check in with my family during this time, as well as like Thursday. Like, I literally have maintenance coming here, and they gave us a window, and they're like, "You're so lucky. One of your apartment place actually gets to get checked in on because we are doing our routine maintenance or inspection. Congratulations!" I'm like, so you could be here from 10 to 3 p.m. and I could be like YouTubing this shit, and then they could be walking through and I'd just be like, okay, channeling the messages, no big deal. And now my Siri is going off on my computer over there. So anyway, shameless glad. But I do want to do that, and I want to see if I have time tomorrow or the next day to really give back to you with all of this, because there's been so much this year in other videos and psychic channeled messages, and you can feel free to like rewatch them. I think I have a playlist that really talks about that in regards of like all my psychic channel messages and downloads that I like write up. And why can't I think? And then pull cards for all of you. Like, there's a lot of themes that just keep coming up throughout the year with how the reads are just moving forward. And so some of you might like be in certain phases and stages of like those reads energetically during this time, because it is collective. Others of you may be moving forward through that. But there has been a lot of like, let go, release this addiction, release this toxic person, release this toxic job, release this unwanted habit, like release and shed these certain things that you've really outgrown during this time. And so that's something I want to do. But the things that, like, if I were to flip this whole year was, the hardest year of my life, and I know I have a video on my channel is like, life isn't hard, you make it that way. And that was like a psychic channeled message download. I try to reframe life has been tough and it has been difficult moving through these energies. And also like the things that I have still been able to do as best as I can. I still have been able to, as best I can, do my chores at home, cook for myself, clean, have people over for women's circles, do astrology reads, do tarot reads for people who've bought, do my best with showing up to events for networking, which has been minimal. I haven't been able to give to that as much, honestly, and I want to get back into that. I have also been able to create, so let's look at my deck wall. I redid one deck, and then I have, or two decks, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, made 8 decks this year. Shameless squad, truly. So it's like when you think about that, and like I'm psychically channeling all the time these messages to put them in decks to use on my channel. So then I get so excited, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, like a little bit here too. So sleep has also been a big one. So that's something where I'm like, I still have been doing a lot of stuff. I still have been able to take clients. I still have been able to do my circles. And I'm just very grateful for anybody who has shown up, energetically given, and really used the tools that I have been teaching this year. And I've also found that like I am a really great teacher, and a lot of people want more of this occult knowledge and wisdom and these secrets of manifestation and astrology and all this stuff. And so I also have different things that I'm manifesting and videoing and recording too. Your girl's multi-passionate, but there's just certain things that I really say on my lives that come up consistently in energetic reads, but I want to be able to give you all like a resource for that in particular as well. So it's kind of like the fact that I'm still able to balance, this nice being and this doing energy here that has been kind of challenging or a sticky situation this whole year of 2025. I just have to laugh. I'm proud of myself. And even though I maybe haven't done as much as other people think I should be doing, I have done a lot. And so I just want you to all remember that. If you're beating yourself up or feeling like the energy of someone else projecting it onto you, like you're not doing as much as you should here, but you are like actually doing better than you think, like I want you to remember that and like brush off those projections and like cleanse and those people's energies and like rub it away from you and off your body here. So this is one of those things where there can be that perspective as well. And Wow, Jackie, after hearing your story, I can see why maybe you haven't been on YouTube. I can see why you've had a shit year. But then also knowing you're trying to still work out, trying to eat healthy as best you can, trying to be a good partner, trying to be a good family member, trying to be a good friend, trying to be a business owner, still trying to psychically channel, still put your things into deck, still work on astro sex courses, still show up for others in the community, still like give back, right? A lot of people wouldn't be able to do some of those things even in a year. And so this is one of those things where 1111 can be that internal, external energy. But what's also nice that I like to do during this time of year, and maybe you'll resonate with this too, is, as humans, souls living in human bodies, we don't always give ourselves enough credit. And our ego can really get in the way of certain things in life. And people talk about, I want to do all these things and go here and go there and do this and do that, right? And I know I do that a lot too. More so do these things, like give back and share all this knowledge and all these resources, right? And a lot of times, it's like, it's also like, do you do a reverse bucket list though? And look at all your list of accomplishments this year. Do you look at, holy cow, look at everything that you did, even if it was like shitty, even if it was hard, even if you had to show up, for yourself or others in a difficult way, like, do you realize you did that? And then do you realize that you did all these other areas and things too? And this is tricky as well. So it's one of those things to really gain that perspective here and always look at, like, how are you showing up? How is your internal reality manifesting externally? How can you wish good on to others, receive more abundance and give more abundance? And how can you try to, as best you can, without taking on too much of what's going on in the world and the collective energies in the news, to really balance everything out, to have that really healthy, sharp, good, wealthy mindset? Because there are a lot of people who will still have a very poor mindset, but they're very rich. They have lots of money and they're very, quote unquote, maybe wealthy in that way, but that's not true wealth at the end of the day here. Carla, you found this today. I love that. Owen says, people who doing anything but getting a job. I know. And that's something, Owen, where it sucks. Like these, the job market saying like, yeah, like we have all these openings, but then they're not actually openings. And then they're like secret, like jobs and stuff. And it's just like, why? And there's a message that I want to share out of this book that my dad actually gave me. And I found a lot of like solace and solitude and a lot of beauty in it. And some of you maybe have read it. I think it was written in 1993, and it was called The Celestine Prophecy. So I apologize if I goofed that up, but I haven't given it back to my dad yet, but it was so good. It was so juicy. And it just talks about things from a spiritual lens and sense of like how we try to control people and all this different stuff. But then also this energy of like, people will be more so in the future getting paid for their gifts, their knowledge, their intuition, their creativity, their energies. And that's something now, if there's something that you do really well, like I just want to encourage everybody here, like you can charge for that, right? The things that you naturally are talented for, right? Like when we were moving, if someone wanted to set up this office and build and put up all my oracle decks and shelves and stuff on the wall and whatever, I would have gladly like paid somebody if I knew who wanted to do that, because I don't want to do that. I want to organize. I want to decorate. I don't want to fucking build all this shit, right? So it's like, that's even a gift that a lot of people don't necessarily see or recognize, that like you can charge for that. That's a service, that's time, and that's energy, and that's effort. And that's a blessing that you could be that miracle in other people's lives that they're looking for. And now more than ever, a lot of people are looking to give to small businesses, because you see these major corporations, right, taking advantage of their workers and their employees and all just this different stuff. You all know I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But that's where you also get to like reevaluate things in life too, of like, what are my soul gifts, what is my soul contract. Look to your astrology with that, but also like use it as a tool and look at the year ahead and look at where are you kind of being led and guided in your transits, or just in your natal birth chart if you've never got a reading done, right? But that can give you so much information here. Carla says, I wake up with gratitude and I choose to be happy. I love that. Gratitude is a frequency. Yes, 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 Carla, it totally is. And there's so many gratitude exercises that you can do. And I was just like sitting in my Zen den this morning. And I don't know about all you, but I was fucking crying last week on like the full moon, the next day, the day after that. My water trine in my chart was feeling the water trine going on in the sky. And I was just like, fucking A, is anybody else crying out there? Is anybody else just like crying multiple days in a row? I haven't done that for a while, but I was like, I just need to release this. Clearly I'm going through something spiritually, and it felt really good, right? But I was like, I'm grateful I'm able to give myself rest and allow myself to cry and allow myself to be vulnerable with all of you and share my posts and share my truth and just speak about what I've been moving through as well. Because if you know me, I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm not going to spiritually bypass my own shit and be like, everything's fine, we're so good. Like, no. That's not true. That's not life here. I'm not going to mask what I'm going through with all of you, Shameless Squad. But Barb said that's a good one. Yes, the Celestine prophecy is so beautiful. And I know there's like a 10th book and then another book and another book. And I haven't read those yet because I want to know if my dad has them. But honestly, that book gave me hope for the future. And there's another oracle deck that I have that also gave me hope for the future. And those are the things I need to go back to when life also seems kind of hard or difficult or tough, or just like you can't take it anymore. So definitely pay attention to my shorts. Hit subscribe if you're new. Like this video if you enjoyed it. This was a long one. This was a shameless one. I hope it gives you all perspective of just what I've experienced this year, what I've also been going through, and also trying to show up for the collective energies in different ways as well. You'll have to let me know in the comments below too, like what miracles you feel like you are manifesting and really wanting to call in to 2026 as well. Carla, I love that. Being vulnerable doesn't mean weakness. Absolutely, Carla. I love that you said that. And that's what staying shameless is about. Being vulnerable, being authentic, being real, like owning your shadows and your light. Like when you all saw me on this live call out that person who sexualized me, and I'm like, oh, I'll tell my partner that. And I said it very like dry and to the fucking point with my Capricorn rising sign. Y'all were probably like, ooh, bitch is testy today. Yeah, don't fuck with my energy, y'all. I'm being vulnerable, I'm being real, and I'm showing up as sometimes my energy is up the fuck here in Neptune, and sometimes it's no tolerating the bullshit today. So there's just a lot to be very mindful with that. So I really hope that all of you, when you do stay shameless, you show up as authentic as you can. You show up with gratitude for yourself for just being real and just being like, this is where I'm at today, right? And working through our emotions is healthy. We as humans, we humans have something called human affection. Absolutely. And you can do it, girl. Right back at you, Carla. Absolutely. If you enjoyed this live today, let me know. Definitely share it with anyone you know, or drop a heart in the comments below after too, Shameless Squad. I'm getting hungry over here, so I need to eat something before I go get an ass kicking with Barb, who's in the chat here, who does gentle yoga. Just kidding. But seriously, that'd be really good for me to just kind of ground down my energies and breathe and everything. But